Welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders by interviewing amazing guests to encourage us all to rise up. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders. And I'm so happy to have Stella Gianotto here from Brands for Brands. Welcome, Stella.
Hello, Tula. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be on the podcast, actually.
Oh.
Normally I say I'm excited, but this one I'm honored.
Oh, thank you so much. And I have to tell our listeners and viewers, I'm going to tell you about Stella in just a second. But I also want to say that Stella, Joanne, and Brand for Brands, excuse me, were one of the first sponsors when I started my company, Areti Goddess Events, empowering women personally and professionally. And in fact, you contributed to the Areti Goddess online program with expert tips for marketing and branding.
I remember that.
Was so generous. So let me tell you all about Stella. Stella Gianotto is the creative director and brand architect behind Brand for Brands. She's successfully delivered thousands of brands to market. Her regular contributions to the media have positioned her as a brand architect, and her hard work has earned her multiple business awards. Congratulations, including Best Designer, Best Design House, and Best Brand Agency Sydney 2019. Congratulations, that's amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to launch into the questions now with the very first question. What would you say are some of the biggest personal obstacles you've overcome on your way to success, and how did you do it, Stella?
Well, I think it's, in my case, it's not one obstacle, it's a series of obstacles. But the biggest thing, I think, as a female in business is life changes and self-doubt. I think, the media and society wants us to be a certain way and to behave a certain way. And some of us just don't fit that mold. I'm one of those people. But I think that when life throws you a curveball, as the saying goes, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade, and you market the hell out of it.
Yeah, right. That's a great response. So, would you care to share like a personal story of yours of overcoming a major obstacle? Because I do know you are a single mother and a
I
very
am.
successful businesswoman. So that's one. I mean, I
That
have
is
big
one.
admiration.
I think there's been a few really milestone ones. The first one was I was in a long-term relationship and I was married, and I got divorced. And that individual was my business partner, and I eventually lost all of my assets,
Oh,
and I had to trade from the brink of bankruptcy, essentially out from that, which I did and managed to recover. And I have become a single parent. It's probably been one of the most challenging and rewarding things ever. A lot of people will tell you that. But one of the last life changes that happened, 10, 11 months ago last year, was that I had an allergic reaction to some medication, and I fainted face first,
oh
and
my God.
broke my jaw and shattered my cheekbones, and had to get multiple reconstructive surgeries, to the
Oh my
point where I had my mouth wide shut and I couldn't talk. So when you communicate for a living and you lose the
God.
main source of communication, that was my Everest. I had to
Well,
climb that one.
it certainly sounds like it. So how long was the period of recovery? That's intense.
The period of recovery actually is still ongoing. So I had to take 3 months off because I couldn't speak. I was eating through a straw. I
Oh,
kept losing my equilibrium. So every time I'd stand up, I'd lose my balance. I wasn't allowed to drive or leave the house. I completely lost my independence for a while. And when I was able to use my mouth, I had to go through speech therapy. I had to learn to talk again and to communicate. I had to regain my balance
yeah.
and just get a normal sense of self. So I took 3 months off and then worked from home for a little bit. But the recovery is still ongoing because I had many months of rehab and face exercises and trauma counselors and
Wow.
psychologists, cardiologists, neurologists. It was just a very uh, arduous process that went on for about 7 or 8 months after. And then, now there's all the dental work to correct the teeth, and that'll still go on for about another 9 to 10 months.
That's
So
incredible.
it's,
And to think this all began from an allergic reaction to medication.
yep, yep,
That's that's just incredible. Well, to
yep.
see you here today, I'm just so honored to have you on the show.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like it has indeed, it sounds like Everest. It sounds like an incredible journey.
It was a hard one, and it was challenging, not so much on the physical front, but I think also too mentally and psychologically,
Absolutely.
it really built resilience, and it makes you in that moment when you lose your autonomy, you lose your main source of communication, you also lose your own identity. To actually have to overcome that on a day by day basis, I think it would have crushed a lot of people. And I make the joke I should be in a white padded room dribbling somewhere, but I'm not. And the reason I didn't, I think, is because my why was my son. He saw the accident. He's nine
Oh,
years
the
old
poor
now.
thing.
I needed to show him what it was like, or that you can come back from adversity, you can overcome an obstacle, and you can do better in your life, even if you started on the back foot, because he was
Yeah.
watching every single day. He saw my
Wow.
reactions, he saw my behavior, and I needed to show him really what resilience is. It's one thing to be a single parent. It's another thing when a child assumes the responsibility of, I have to take care of my mum now,
Oh,
which I
and they
didn't
do,
assign
don't
him.
they? The little
They
ones.
do,
He
they
must be
do.
so proud of you. So proud of you.
Yeah, he is very proud of me, but I'm also very proud of him too, because he asserted his independence, and he
Yeah.
grew a lot in that period, as did I. As did
Yeah.
I.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Welcome.
So, next up, I really do want to talk about your business. So, tell us about
Yes.
your business and what were the first few steps you took just for the newbies to get your
Mhm.
business up and running?
So I actually started up where I was with what I had, and at that stage, I was still studying and I was trying to break into the industry. So I took on any freelance job that I possibly can, and I set up a boffice, essentially, an
A
office in a
boffice.
bedroom, a boffice. I had a computer, and I had only just got a mobile phone, and I literally printed up some basic business cards from one of those machines that you could.
Wow. Now that's
And
initiative.
that's initiative, and basically handed it out to anyone and everyone. And it started by me handing my business cards to the mums at the local dance school where I was
Oh,
dancing, and I started photographing portfolios for up and coming dancers and models. And then I started designing business cards for other people and pamphlets and brochures, and that's just how it went from there. And I kept this part-time gig going, which is what you would call a side hustle now.
yeah.
And then eventually my side hustle got so busy that I was spending more time doing that than my full-time job. And then I decided to make the switch, and I hired a room in the back of a print shop and went from
Oh,
there.
it's great. So I think the moral of the story here is use what you've got and just do it. I love
Start where
it. I
you
love
are
it.
and with what you've got, and make it work.
Make it work.
Make
Great.
it
So tell
work.
me, why are you so passionate about what you do?
Gosh, why am I so passionate? I mean, you'd think I'd be sick by doing it now. I've been doing it, I think I'm celebrating like 25 years in the industry,
Wow.
which is a long time. I guess I've always liked finding a better way. I'm designed to respond. So when someone comes to me, a client, a prospect with a problem or a brief, and they need a solution, I kind of kick in. I think that started back when I was a kid. My poor parents, back when you had film in a camera, I would take the camera and rearrange my toys or my mum's china and crockery, because they used to have these Italian families had these big crystal cabinets, and
Yeah.
I'd resort everything, and then I'd take photos, and my mum would get the family film developed, and there'd be like 6 photos of the family and 36 photos of Stella rearranging the crystal in the cabinet.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. So it's just
So
your nature. It's
it's
just
just my nature. I
yeah.
cannot help myself, and I actually love doing it. And I never get bored because no job or project's ever the same.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Right.
fantastic. So tell me, in your business journey,
Hmm.
what have been your biggest challenges so far?
Gosh, I could talk about trading through debt and bankruptcy, where you start making a lot of money and then you start squandering it by doing stupidly big purchases without making sure you've got a reserve. I could talk about going through a divorce and splitting, assets and losing everything and starting back up. Um,
I'd say that's more than enough. That's a
yeah,
lot.
breaking my jaw
That's
was a
a
big
lot.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So have
life
you
changes makes it
life
hard.
changes? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. These are huge. So have you overcome these challenges? And if so, is there like one underlying way that you did it?
Yes, how did I keep moving through it? When times are tough or you've got a big obstacle that you've got to get through, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I go back to making it simple. And when I can't figure things out and it gets really hard, I do what my son did as a child and I go and take a nap. I literally will turn my phone off. I will go into a dark room or wherever I am, and I will take a nap and I will come back rested and then look at the problem. And I start with where I can. And sometimes I don't know where to start. I just pick a spot and go, I can resolve that now. And then I park it. And then the next one, I can resolve that now and I park it. But I go back to basics and I go back to self-care. I nurture myself. Quiet time, baths, binging on Netflix, book, wine, whatever it is for
Whatever it is.
you,
Yeah.
whatever it is. For me, I like having bubble baths and I like watching movies. But I keep it simple. And then I do one thing, and then I do the next, and I do the next, and I do the next. And sure enough, you get through the obstacle.
That's fantastic. And that's really good advice for our listeners and viewers. And I really want to hear from you too, what you think about what Stella just said, because I think keeping it simple is a really great message to send out.
Mm.
So, I mean, I guess that takes care of my next question, which is how do you keep motivated through difficult times? And I think you've just answered that. So,
Well, I do want to add one more thing.
okay,
The other thing
great,
to keep
great.
you
Please do.
motivated is simplicity works irrespective of what's trending, what technology there is or isn't, how much money you do or you don't have, because you're in control of it. But what keeps you going, I think, is you have to find the passion, the one thing that you're blissfully passionate about. For me, it's dancing. I used to dance as a child and a young adult, and then I went back to dancing, and it's my thing for me, for myself, by myself, that doesn't involve anyone else. So you've got to find that one thing that is purely for you, selfishly, you, time, for you, by you, and not for anyone else or any reason or any agenda. That's what will really keep you going every time you've got an obstacle.
Because it brings you joy,
Brings
doesn't
you
it?
joy, moves you
Fantastic.
towards your bliss and away from your pain.
And if you follow Stella on social media, you'll see some amazing footage and photographs of her dancing. So tell me, what the next question for you is, what is the big, oh, okay. I'll
Mm.
just start that again. What is the best advice you've received recently?
Oh, the best advice that I've received recently. Um, that's actually quite a difficult one for me to answer because interestingly, the more successful that you become or the more better known you become, people feel like obligated that they want to give you some advice.
Oh, that's
But
so true.
they feel like it's an obligation. It's
Yeah.
like you suddenly become public property and people want to tell you what you should do and how you should be. But the best advice that I've received recently was a reminder of something that I'd already received early on, which was if it's not true for you, it's not true.
Wow.
And
Love that.
you,
That's great.
yeah, if it's not true for you, it's not true. What you believe to be true becomes your reality, but
Mm.
it doesn't mean it's somebody else's reality. And we get so consumed with how we should behave that we forget about what is it that we become
In the process.
in the process. Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
great.
it's not true for you, it's not true.
That's great. Great advice. So my next question to you is, what are your favorite, just a couple, what are your favorite
Mhm.
business tools, resources, and why?
Again, old school, pen, paper, coffee, quiet space. I mean, technology and apps come and go, but if we were to have a technical meltdown, what is there? Pen, paper, coffee, space, I can rely on them. They're always there, they're readily available, and I can get them in any part of the world that I am. Doesn't matter if I'm on a plane, if I'm sitting in London, Heathrow Airport, doesn't matter if I'm in, uh, remote part of Vanuatu.
Hmm.
I can get those things all the time and it keeps me going. They're my resources, my go-to. And a book. A
And
book. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. I mean, I think for us, our generation, we're used to, or we find comfort in actually holding a book or seeing
Yep.
something on a page, don't we?
Yep.
And it's a
The
lot
physical
simpler.
touch.
Again, going back to simplicity. So tell me, Stella, are you running any promos, contests, or giveaways?
We've got a giveaway going at the moment. So one of the things that we created was a brand guardian because one of the common problems we're finding with brands now is that as AI gets smarter, who's going to be around to keep your tone of voice, your brand authentic? So
Wow,
we
that's
created
really
a
great.
So we created a playbook with how to create great content that's fresh and up to date to market your brand. And this playbook is going to give you the priming and the tools so that you can use AI to your benefit. And we're giving it away for free, just for a small period of time.
Is that to our listeners and viewers?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
can
God,
give you the
that
link.
is so generous. Thank you so much.
So if you go to yourbrandguardian.com and sign up for the free kit, you can download it, and there are other options there, but we'll give you the link as well so that you can post it with the podcast and it's available to your listeners.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so valuable, especially now that most of us are using AI. And you're right
Yes,
about that. It does need to be authentic. It does need to reflect your own voice. So thank you so, so much.
you're welcome.
Okay, so next up is a very, very important question. And for our listeners and viewers, now we're looking at a very gorgeous image of Stella there. Um, what advice would you give to other aspiring female entrepreneurs?
Okay, my advice is three tiers. Start now because it's never going to be a good time and you're never going to have perfect conditions and you're always going to want to perfect it later on anyway. So you may as well do it now.
Yeah,
The second part is keep it really simple. All the fancy extra stuff you really don't need. And when you do want to do something, does it benefit your end result? Or the goal that you're working towards. And if nothing else, be authentic, be human, be real, because in the age of AI, everyone is looking like a clone. We're going into a sea of sameness that people being authentically themselves is really what we're gagging for. So
yeah,
that's my advice.
that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're up to the next quick, like the last question for
Okay.
today, which is how we can connect with you.
Well, I'm across all the social media channels, Stella Gianotto. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or you could follow my agency, which is Brand for Brands. And we're across all the channels as well, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well.
Fantastic. And the website address?
The website address is brand
Mhm.
for FOR brands.com.
Awesome. So, for our listeners and viewers, you have to connect with Stella and Brand for Brands because this is an incredible gift and it will really benefit you. And not only that, but I can attest to how good these guys are. I mean, you're
Thank you.
the real experts. So, it's great to have you as a guest on the show. And I wish you amazing success. Thank you, Stella. And
Thank you, Tula.
talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Gotta Show podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you next time.